Hello. We would like to welcome everyone to this webinar, the Certificate in Town Gown Relations. My name is Beth Babel, and I'm the Executive Director of ITGA. I want to remind you of the upcoming webinar that we have in March, Rebuilding Trust in Higher Education, Relationships and Relevance. This will be March the 23rd at 1 o'clock p.m. You will see this advertised in our newsletter, and I will also provide a link for you today. Today's webinar is the ITGA Certificate in Town Gown Relations. We are delighted to have participants joining us from across the globe, which reflects the interest in today's topic. If you have questions, you can put them in the Q&A. This session will be recorded and will be shared after the webinar is complete. Today, we are joined by experts in the field who will discuss the significance of the certificate program, a professional development opportunity that will expand your professional skills in town and gown relations. This course will help you manage and advance relationships and problem solve issues between colleges, universities, and their host communities. Throughout today's discussion, we will delve into many specific examples of best practices. We'll hear how these programs can strengthen town gown relationships through opportunities for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and community engagement. Our esteemed panelists bring their expertise, and we look forward to hearing about their modules and the content they will address. So without further ado, let's take it away and meet our panelists. We're going to start with you, Dr. Staniford.
Thanks, Beth. And hello, everyone. My name is Alton Standifer, and I serve as Vice Provost and Chief of Staff to the Provost at the University of Georgia. I earned my PhD in Public Administration and Policy and did my dissertation work on town gown relations, exploring how the relationship between local governments and colleges, university differ in communities with a land grant institution compared to those that are not land grant universities. And so got connected to ITGA through some of that interest and really look forward to kicking off the certificate series this year. This first course, it will really dive into some of the foundations of the town gown relationship. What are some of the defining concepts of a college town? What are some of the ways that we identify a location as a college town versus just a town with a college in it? We will look at some of the common aspects, the challenges and opportunities that uniquely exist in college towns, and my colleagues around the screen, they will delve deeper into those throughout the rest of the certificate program. Then we'll also explore ways to measure the town gown relationship. We often talk about having better town gown relations, and it's hard to improve something if you don't measure it. And so we'll explore some of the ways out there for measuring that relationship, and then wrap up the course with just some feedback, some tips and tricks that you can use in building stronger town gown relationships in your community. And then after that, you'll hear some expert advice from one of my colleagues on how boards specifically can help strengthen those relationships. So, Randall, you want to tell them a little bit about what they'll get in your course?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Truly excited to see everyone. And it always brings me a lot of excitement when we are doing ITGA work. And I do recall many years ago when I did the certificate programs, they were two sets. There was certificate one, and then you can earn certificate two at that time. And it really enlightened me to the nuances of town and gown relationships. So I'm excited. I earned my doctorate in educational leadership theory and practice at Binghamton University at upstate New York. And a lot of my work at Binghamton focused around town and gown advisory boards, and this is what you will have an opportunity to listen to and really explore. And what we will explore is um, thinking beyond just crisis management off campus, right? We want you to really explore a town and gown advisory board that will help you formulate a real relationship with the surrounding community. And when I say a real relationship, not just, oh my God, well, the noise, the ordinances, the complaints, the red cups, not just that. No, no, no. But wow, how do we make this into a hotbed of university or college students actually in the community gaining that really valuable experience through community engagement, right? You're going to learn about a practical model that is also sustainable. One of the things I learned in my research of town and gown advisory boards is that a lot were explained about and say, hey, yeah, we're going to put a board together. And all of a sudden, that board lasted 3 months because it was nothing but a complaint session. The town was complaining about the university. The university is complaining about the town. The students were complaining about the blah, 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 blah. And it lasted 3 months. But we are talking about a sustainable town and gown advisory board. So we're very excited to bring this to you. We want to also address today's complex challenges as it relates to how the institution intersects with the community, and there's a lot of synergy between what all of our modules are talking about. So this really, after the first module, it glides right into having an advisory board to discuss a lot of what you will learn in that first module to really get excited about it. And we want you to walk away immediately with some usable tools. So we're kind of going to give you a blueprint. How do you create a town and gown advisory board that actually works, that is actually functional, and what's key, that actually does something? So we are super, super excited about this, and we can't wait. And Brad, at this time, though, it is my pleasure to move this forward as we keep a nice synergistic flow. Barbara, it's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Randall. Your enthusiasm is infectious. I'll try my best to follow. But anyway, I am Barbara Moore, the City of College Station. I am the University and Community Relations Manager. I've been with the city for 19 years this year, and started out as the city's neighborhood services coordinator, working with all of our neighborhoods, HOAs, community organizations, being a liaison between them and the city. I have now passed that role over to Taylor Morris Wise, who is doing an absolutely exceptional job of just rocking it with our neighborhoods and working real hard on both of us to continue to be that access point to people around the community on ways that they can interact with the city, share their concerns, share their complaints, share their ideas, and hopefully find solutions for them, as well as doing a lot of community engagement work with our community. We have a very involved community here in College Station, so we don't have to work too hard for that. We kind of have to sometimes corral the people's engagement here. So we don't have that issues, but we do lots of community engagement. And so a little bit about my background. Like I said, I've been here for 19 years and moved into a role in the city manager's office in 2019. And neighborhood services came with me to the city manager's office, which has been fantastic to elevate neighborhood issues to the office that makes everything happen. So it's made our jobs really easy. We don't have to go very far to find the people who can solve the problems like two doors down. So that's been amazing. And my master's in public administration from the University of Washington in Seattle, with the focus on education and social policy, and spent the first half of my career in the nonprofit world as an executive director, program director, development director. So that's a little bit about my background. But what Taylor and I hope to share, and I did the certificate program in 2012, back when Randall was talking about with their certificate 1 and 2. And back then, I think we even had like a phone line sort of thing that we did it on. It was pre-Zoom, so it was kind of back in the dark ages, but it was cool back then, and so it's even cooler now. And so I think Caitlin did in the last few years, and she can share a little bit more about her experience then. But the focus of our module will be on conflict to conversation, a case study in community engagement in local government. So one of the things that we're going to focus on is a historically Black neighborhood that is one of our last Black neighborhoods left in College Station. In Texas A&M student enrollment, over 70,000 students and less than 15,000 beds on campus. That means the students live in our community and they live everywhere. And many of the neighborhoods closest to campus have been greatly impacted by the increase in enrollment in Texas A&M and the purchase of existing homes being torn down and larger structures being built. So it's not only changed the look of the neighborhood, the complexion, the feel, everything about it has changed. And when I first came to the city back in 2007, this neighborhood was not organized. We had a very adversarial relationship with this neighborhood and the city, and no trust between us and them. Promises had been broken, and in reality, and in some instances, they felt ignored, and they were not wrong. And so it was our job to work to build a relationship with this neighborhood, to build trust, to hear them, to listen, to be willing to go the extra mile, meet them where they were, and do some different things with them. One of the things we recognized very early on is the way that we communicated and got information to them, the way we worked with them was not like any other neighborhood. So we had to adjust our model and really think hard about how we reach them. What mattered to them may not have mattered to people in other parts of the community who had HOAs and stricter deed restrictions and things of that nature. So essentially, we became somewhat of the enforcement arm to help that neighborhood keep its integrity. And so our case study will be looking at what all we did to build a relationship with this neighborhood and how that relationship is one of our strongest relationships with a neighborhood that we have now. And of course, they're literally a stone's throw from Texas A&M. So many of the things that they deal with, people who live further out in the city don't have to. So we have to pay a little extra special attention to them because they are a mix of predominantly older people, and college students. So that's an interesting mix. And so Caitlin and I want to share some of the things that we have done, how community engagement looks different for different communities, how you can use what we've done and build on it in neighborhoods and areas that may be hard to reach, and population groups who maybe not necessarily have had the luxury and the presence to be at tables and have discussions and have their concerns listened to, and how to strengthen them as leaders so that they can advocate for themselves and the continuation of their association and organization long after we're no longer here. So Caitlin Morris Wise is here. Caitlin, if you can feel free to share also about our case study.
Yeah, so I'm Caitlin. I am a double Aggie. I graduated both my undergrad and my master's from A&M. Very fun place to be and very happy to be working for the city of College Station. It's so fun to be here. Fun fact about me that I like to share is that I've worked for all three levels of government, so state, federal, and local government. And it's very fun. And I have an opinion on all three, and they're all really unique and love it. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, like Barbara covered a lot of what we were going to be talking about in our module. But one thing that I wanted to add on to that is not only kind of shifting how you do community engagement with these neighborhoods, but also becoming almost an advocate on the other side of it, like when we are talking with our partner organizations, like our Department of Transportation, like our state's Department of Transportation, and they're working on these big projects, we are advocating to have this neighborhood be included in those plans because oftentimes they get overlooked. And so not only is it the engagement directly with the neighborhood, but it's on the other side of it, the stuff that they don't see, making sure that they're included. And so we are very happy to be kind of presenting this. And a lot of this work was done by Barbara. And so it's really nice to be able to kind of like lift that up and then continue that work to this day. So.
So that's what we hope that you guys will get from our module, and we're super excited to present it and pass along that information.
Oh. All right. Thank you, Barbara. Caitlin. I'll take the next module. My name is Greg McDaniel. I'm currently the city manager of Seaside, California. I have 26 years of experience in local government, 16 as a city manager, and the last 14 of which have been an active member of ITGA and sharing in this town gown belief that we're all here to talk about. So much so that I'm actually currently serving as president of ITGA. So I feel honored with that responsibility and being able to interact with all these wonderful subject matter experts. And I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to plug Barbara and Taitlin's efforts for the upcoming ITGA conference in College Station. So if you haven't heard about that, please take a look and take a look at come down and say howdy in College Station and visit everyone. So our module is called Retail Success in Town Gown Communities: Strategies for Data-Driven Growth. And our session will focus on many of the communities actively navigating how to build sustainable year-round ecosystems in the college and university environments. And so, college communities bring tremendous opportunity, stable anchor institutions, built-in customer bases, and strong purchasing power. However, it takes a lot more than optimism to be successful in retail markets. It requires, the clear understanding of the demographic data, the seasonal fluctuations, the real estate constraints, and really the alignment between the campus and community priorities. And so this session will take a data-driven look at how those retail decisions are actually made on a national level. And how town gown communities can better position themselves to be successful in those efforts. We'll walk through case studies in Maryville, Missouri, where I spent 13 years as city manager. I will be joined by the current city manager, Ryan Highland, who's doing a fantastic job with their partners at Northwest Missouri State University. And then I'll bring some examples too from Seaside, California, and our partnership with California State University in Monterey Bay. We're especially pleased in this session to partner with Retail Strategies, LLC, and their real estate director, Elliot Cook, who really brings national expertise in retail recruitment, site packaging, and will provide some tremendous insight into town gown relations and conversations. So the emphasis on this module is practical application. It's understanding what the retailers are looking for and how to present, again, that combined campus community market effectively to drive economic development in your communities. So really forward to this session, really looking forward to this session, and thank you for your interest in our program. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our partners at Colorado State University, Lindsay Mason, who's the director of Off-Campus Life.
Thanks, Greg. Good day, y'all. Like Greg said, my name is Lindsay Mason. I use she, her pronouns. I work at Colorado State University, where I serve as the director of a unit called Off-Campus Life. My formal training, I do have a master's and PhD in higher education and student affairs leadership, but I have been doing town gown work explicitly for about 13 years. I get to interact and support people nationally, both through my ITGA involvement and through a leadership role that I hold through NASPA. Additionally, I also uniquely share a position with my local municipality, the city of Fort Collins. So I'm really living it every day, sharing a role with our city. I'm excited to be co-presenting with my colleague down the freeway, Jeff Morris. I'll let him introduce himself and then I'll talk a little more.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, hey folks, my name is Jeff Morris. I am the director for Off-Campus Life at the University of Colorado in Boulder, just right down the road from Colorado State. As much as we are rivals, we do tend to come together and work sometimes and do some things. So really excited about this opportunity. My background, I started off more in a traditional higher education approach, have a master's in higher ed student affairs administration, and worked in off-campus student services realms for a very long time, probably from 2008 through 2018 in the city of Boston. So for those of you that are in Boston, hello, sorry about the Patriots, also upset, but that will happen. With that, in Boston, before I left, the last couple of years that I was there doing all that off-campus work, we actually had a coalition that was the Boston Town Gown Association, which was kind of just like a mini ITGA in the city of Boston, which was amazing. And that was really kind of my first taste of this town gown work and saying, wow, there really is a whole lot beyond the let's get students into an apartment and make sure they find good housing all over the place. So our presentation is really going to be that expansion of what it means to get students into their housing and feeling comfy, responsible, and advocated for by the universities. But I'll let Lindsay dive back in and speak to the details of what our module is really going to look like.
So on April 8th, Jeff and I will be co-teaching a session that we're calling Beyond the Campus Borders, Supporting Students Where They Live. We know that housing and neighboring is significant for all of us, regardless of our age or stage of life. And both Jeff and I take that responsibility really seriously to support both our students and our local long-term residents as they live amongst one another. We're excited to share how our units work with our stakeholders, which certainly includes students and long-term residents, but additionally, folks like property managers or other campus partners like legal services or student conduct or conflict resolution services, and our many city partners, including police services, code enforcement, neighborhood services, etc. Units like ours, we don't just help students find housing, we really steward relationships between the university and the city, and we support community vitality. So excited to bring that to you. Jeff, I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. I just wanted to iterate the titles of our offices. I think this is really important to share that our offices are called Off-Campus Life at our universities. And at a lot of other schools, you'll see that office called Off-Campus Student Life. And so from our world, having off-campus life, we really think at the title of that, the name of that department really speaks to we're not just here to focus on the student life aspect of it. We're here to focus on the overall life aspect of it, the students, the non-students, the neighbors, the city, all of these relationships that ultimately we're trying to develop and sustain for the betterment of our student populations overall. So that's just a really important piece I wanted to reiterate. And before I hand it off to Elton, I also wanted to share I took the certificate program last year. I loved every single second of it. Some of the presentations that you're about to see, I wish I could go back and see again because they are so powerful and they're so influential. One in particular that my favorite, they were all great. And so there's a lot of you in here, but my favorite was Randall's presentation last year, just talking about these advisory boards and how much they can achieve and accomplish and shift culture and relationship between a university and the community that university is residing in, to the point where this certificate program, you end up developing a strategic plan to have something tangible, to create something from the ground up with this group of individuals and your colleagues. And one of the things I got to do from this program last year was end up developing and refreshing an advisory board in the city of Boulder that is now neighborhood associations, the University of Colorado, City of Boulder staff, city council members, the police department, and a handful of students. And that advisory board is now influencing and redirecting the paths in our relationships and our goals between a university and the city. For me, that's the definition of town gown right there, right? And like that really was sparked from this certificate program last year. And day one of the program, I didn't know that that's what I would end up doing 6 months later, but it was, and it was just incredible. So I just wanted to share that kind of just like tidbit of like the reality of this, and the ability that like how tangible this program can really be to shift cultures in your communities. But with that, I've said enough. Lindsay, we've said enough, but we're looking forward to see everybody. I'm going to hand it off to Elton in Pennsylvania to take it from here.
Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, everyone. As Jeff mentioned, he and I are a class of 25 alumni of the certificate program. Very, very beneficial. A little bit of my background. I joined the Borough State College in 2023 in a PR capacity and was named interim community engagement manager about a year later before stepping into the role full time. My background, I moved to State College, Pennsylvania as a sports journalist to cover Penn State. Um, Before that, I was covering high school sports. Before that, it was federal government. So, town and gown community relations was completely new concept to me. I knew nothing about it. So once, taking over the role in interim capacity, I tried to just surround myself with everything community engagement related, looking up articles, podcasts. Our borough manager here, Tom Fontaine, is a past president, so he was a great source of knowledge. And then with the reputation that ITGA had here within our organization, when I saw the certificate program offered, I knew it was a no-brainer. So each of the six modules that we took last year all were offered practical, clear, actionable takeaways, not just platitudes or things of that nature. What stood out to me as someone new to the space is how diverse and how clearly community engagement was kind of distilled throughout the certificate program. Uh, it touched on a lot of different I guess aspects of town and gown relations, everything from like the ABCs, dealing with off-campus student support, with partnerships with university organizations, which is something that we really wanted to put an emphasis on here in State College. While we have a good relationship with the neighborhood associations, we wanted to kind of have that same relationship with our university community. Penn State has, I believe, 49,000 students. At the least, they should at least know who the Borough State College is and what we offer in resources. Ideally, we'd like to have them participating and volunteering and being becoming involved in their community. So, with that in my mind, when we were presented the strategic plan, I decided that I wanted to work on something, a partnership that was sustainable and actionable, something that I knew that the university would be interested, what would also benefit us. Um, I was partnered with Jameson Lamp, a ITGA member from South Dakota State, and worked through creating the strategic plan, um, and thoughtfully designed, and ended up with a engaging action plan for us and university partners. Another benefit of having that strategic plan in that format was that it was peer review. So I can, bounce ideas off of Jameson and have him give me back his feedback and his input. So as a result, we've launched three different initiatives with Penn State. One with Penn State Panhellenic, Penn State Interfraternity Council, and Penn State University Park Undergraduate Association, which is the Penn State SGA. So we actually just had an event that we helped sponsor last week, to raise awareness and raise money for homeless or housing insecurity in the area. And we tapped into the university community. IFC provided 6 fraternity members who were they were great. So getting feedback from the community members to see that, hey, these guys are here, they live among us, they're not just, we don't just see them when we're, calling in a noise complaint or yelling at them for having those red cups in the lawn. They're actually out here being productive members and contributing to our community. So with that said, the certificate program was awesome. I would do it again. Actually, hearing some of the modules that you all are going to offer this year makes me, I wish I could. But I will say our community engagement specialist, Lydia Bokel, is going to join this year. So I'm glad that she'll be able to participate. And I look forward to seeing everyone in College Station later this year for the conference. So with that said, I'm going to kick it out to Arizona, the Grand Canyon State, and Allie Applin.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Elton. My name is Allie Applin. I am Director of Community Relations here at Northern Arizona University, which is actually a very snowy place. Most people don't think that about Arizona, but it is in fact true. Sadly, not as much this year as we're hoping. But I am here to talk about what I got out of this program, which was really the connections. I think you have seen all the panelists and the content that you're going to get. It's fantastic. What was super valuable to me is having that cohort and a group of my colleagues that I can contact at any time. We are all dealing with the same issues, even though it might seem very specific to our university, they are very similar. And it's so nice to be able to go to my colleagues in ITGA and grab a program that they have tried and tested. I can't tell you the number of times here at my university I have talked with student life or off-campus housing when they've been dealing with issues. And I'm like, you know what? I know somebody who's done something with that. And so I'm able to reach out to the ITGA colleagues and give them something that's super useful. And I think just all the time, knowing that we have this group of specialists, as Alton said, you are actually doing something practical in the course that you can use on a daily basis. And a lot of times you go to a conference and that is just simply not the case. The other thing is I loved ITGA so much that I joined the board. So I cannot say enough positive things about this organization. Super, super useful. I actually have a every other month call with some of my colleagues where we just touch base on issues that we are dealing with all the time. So I would encourage you to join up. It is worth your while. I know in this time when we are looking through budgets and we're trying to find money and allocate it, this will be worth the return on investment for you. So that's kind of what I have to say. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. And also would greatly encourage you to come to the conference because that is where the real networking is done. It's great to see people on Zoom, but you know that energy in person is just, it takes it up at the next level. So we encourage you all to come and look forward to all your questions. So thank you for your time.
Allie, thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, panelists and alumni who joined us today to talk about your experience and your content. Before we move on, Barbara, do you have anything you want to say about the conference as host? You're still muted.
Okay, Caitlin, you can come off mute and we can talk a little bit about the conference. We're super excited to have everybody join us. We are partnering with Texas A&M University. And fun fact, we were the second conference that ITG had back in 2008. So we're super excited about that. And so we're really glad to have everybody coming down. So we've already had people asking about barbecue and asking about all the fun things you can do. You will definitely get some of that here. Little heat as well, but we're super excited to showcase the partnership between us and Texas A&M University and all the things that we have to offer. So we're working really hard to put together a conference that will be just as good as all the others that you've been to. The networking opportunities, the opportunities to glean from other city as well as university personnel is invaluable. And this year, one of the things that our tracks we added was a local government track. Um, and so we're really excited because we know that the town portion is important. And lots of times the town leans on the gown, but it's good when you can work together. And so we're really excited and encouraging any professionals in municipal government or local government where you have college town to please attend. And if you're so interested, the last day to submit a proposal is February 20th. So, Taylor?
Yeah, you have multiple Aggies who are planning a conference at A&M. So you know that this is going to highlight so many good things about this town, this university, in this community. And I'm literally so excited. I like low key, I don't want it to be here because it's going to be a lot of work. I'm so excited for it, but I am like, I want it to be here because it's
Yeah.
like, I can't wait to show off our town and everything that we've been doing. So it's both.
It is both.
Yeah.
And we're super excited. Both mine and Caitlin's roles are specifically geared to working with the university as well as our neighborhoods. And so we sort of stand in between the neighborhoods in the city and the neighborhoods in A&M. And so this is a good opportunity also for us to showcase that partnership and some of the things that we've accomplished together. And so we're super excited for you all to come down to Texas, and hopefully we'll see you May 19th through the 22nd here in College Station.
Thank you so much. So, as you can see, and while if there are any questions that you want to be answered while we have these panelists together, please submit it in the Q&A. The takeaways today, first of all, there's a lot of passion in this room. We love that passion. It drives our work. And this is something we have a lot of expertise in this room. The modules build on each other. These sessions are critical for inspiring relationships in your campus and your community. If you feel siloed, this is a great opportunity to work with others who understand the work that you do. And as Alton talked about, and I believe so did Greg and others, it is so important to be able to collect data to show measurable success. And so this is also going to be discussed in the modules. And we really appreciate you being with us today. If anybody, what I did put in the Q&A is if you want to register now for the certificate program, that link is there for you. If you have any questions, you can follow up with me or any of the instructors that are here today, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We are delighted that you joined us, and we also hope that you will consider coming to the conference. If you go to our website at itga.org, you'll see the many opportunities for engagement, and we look forward to either hearing you or seeing you in the certificate program or in Texas. Thanks, everybody. Bye.